Hi, girlfriends. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen so many of you for so long, and we are so excited to see people actually in person. We can't see you in person, but virtual hugs to all of you. And Marin, it's amazing to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Lori, thank you. Lori is our awesome board member who's set this up for us and is a real key member of our team too. And my name is Carol, by the way. So we thought we would kind of feature our next step forward award today. And of course, what better person to have involved in this is the 2009 Next Step Forward Award winner, Marin. So welcome, Marin. Thank you for being here. It's so great to see you.
You too. It's wonderful to see you guys. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, yes. Would you mind if we ask you a couple questions to kind of share with our girlfriends kind of what this award is all about and how kind of it happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be great. Would you mind sharing a little bit, first of all, about your life growing up?
So just as a nutshell, because my story is kind of long. So I grew up in Texas. I moved out around a lot. I moved to Florida and then I moved over here to California. I've always been with my mom. And so when I came out here to California, it was to escape a domestic abuse situation with my mom's former partner. And then once in California, I unfortunately had an experience with sexual abuse, which resulted in me getting into foster care. I entered foster care when I was 15 years old. And that's kind of where the story takes off.
Wow. As you grew up in that foster care system, Marin, did you see things you would like to change about the system? And did that help to start inspiring your desire to work in the social field?
Absolutely. So when I entered foster care at 15, I was placed in a group home for about 3 months, and that's traditionally where they place foster youth who do not necessarily have an exact placement to go to. At least in Orange County, California, they really wanted to try to reunify youth with their families. I chose not to go back with my family that was here in California, so I stayed in a group home. While I was there, it took me 3 months at the time to get placed, and that might not seem like a big amount of time, but it was a huge amount of time for me at that time, because the way that I can compare the group home is it's almost like juvie. Like it was a very structured, it was a very institutionalized environment, and I didn't have access with the outside world. And that's one of the things that I definitely see that needs to change, is that separation and how they treated us as youth. It was almost as if like I was on punishment. Our routine was very regimented. They had us on a very strict schedule. You got up at a certain time, you ate at a certain time in the cafeteria. Every week it was the same exact thing. And that's definitely one of the things I'd like to see change within the foster care system, is where youth are placed. And as well as when I went into my very first foster home, I had an instance where I was trying to meet with my social worker to discuss my foster mom, because my first foster mom was very unhealthy. And she was verbally abusive and would make my living situation just absolutely unbearable. And I needed to have monthly meetings with my social worker. And one of the times that my social worker came over, I asked to meet her outside so that I had some privacy to discuss my living situation with my social worker. So we went onto the front porch, and my foster mom ended up going upstairs to her bathroom and listening to my conversation with my social worker from her window to see what I was saying about her to my social worker. And once my social worker left, obviously I got in trouble by her, and it made my living situation just 10 times worse, because she was very vengeful against like the things that I was saying to my social worker. My first foster mom didn't let me drink that much water. She would yell at me if I didn't do certain chores, or like even if I were to communicate with her about certain chores that I couldn't do because I had another commitment, she would scream at me, and it would make me feel very uncomfortable. And I tried communicating that with my social worker, and obviously nothing helped at the time. So that experience particularly is one that sticks out to me, because I think that social workers should be mandated to take youth away from the property that they're placed at, so that a situation like that doesn't happen to like any other youth at all. Because I was lucky, like my foster mom didn't physically harm me, but that might not be the same for other youth currently in care. So different situations like these throughout my experience in foster care has definitely led me to wanting to become somebody who's in the social services field. So whether that be social work or therapy, those are definitely two experiences that really stuck out to me that made me want to change something within the system.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. What about aging out of the system and kind of the lack of support for youth when they do age out of the foster care system? What was maybe your experience there, or what do you think could change there?
Well, I think the first thing that could change is actually social workers' knowledge about youth who I mean, specifically would like to attend college. There are, I mean, California, we're lucky because once you turn 18, you have the ability to stay in foster care until 21, but not many kids utilize this resource. And then another problem is that each county in their services are completely different. There's not necessarily the exact same experience for all foster kids, because it's different everywhere. My social worker wasn't really able to point me in the right direction, because I wanted to go to college and because I wanted to make a career, because not very many youth want to go to college. And she didn't know about any resources. And there's just, other than staying in foster care till you're 21, that's pretty much it. Like, if you don't have family and like anybody to help you, like, you're on your own. I was lucky because I had people to kind of steer me in the right direction, but most of the times youth are just kind of kicked out and left behind, because there's like not, like, even social workers are just not like equipped to be able to help them with outside resources outside of the county. So there's issues with just resources. Down here in San Diego, there's plenty of resources for foster youth, but like if you travel up north, there might not be the same amount of resources, or even less. So there's definitely a gap with resources depending on region and depending on the state that you live in, and there's just so many factors.
Mm-hmm. How did you end up hearing about Just in Time for foster youth here in San Diego?
So when I was searching for colleges, I stumbled across Cal State San Marcos. And when I came down here, I had a meeting with Cal State San Marcos and their program on campus called ACE Scholars. And they also introduced the YMCA's housing program to me. And the YMCA connected me with Just in Time. So I'm down here because I'm a student at Cal State San Marcos and involved with the YMCA and ACE. So as a result, I learned about Just in Time through the connections that I made at Cal State San Marcos and through the YMCA.
Okay. So basically, you connected first with YMCA through Cal State San Marcos, and
Yes.
then got involved with Just in Time. That's amazing, because it just does my heart good. I don't know how you feel about it, Lori, but those are two of the organizations we work with, and really believe in what they're doing. So it really does our hearts great to see that and hear that, doesn't it?
Yep, it sure does. Yeah.
And
then how did you first hear about the First Step Forward, or the Next Step Forward program?
So it was because of Just in Time.
Okay.
So I've been involved in different programs through Just in Time, and so sometimes they send out different scholarship opportunities that they get. So I first heard about you guys through Just in Time.
Great. Do you think the program has value? The award program, did it have value to you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Different, people in positions similar to me, like, we need all the resources that we can get. when I discovered you guys and when I was able to receive the award, I was, at the time, my car was breaking down, and I don't necessarily have the connections to be able to really, I didn't really wasn't able to get that taken care of. So when you guys came into the picture, like, you guys were able to provide me with that resource and that scholarship to be able to take care of my car. And, you know, at the time, like, I had been driving around a lot for work and to school. And so it was definitely a necessity that I had to take care of, and you guys were able to help me with that. And also just having, you know, a network and people who, you know, obviously you guys are super sweet people, and being able to have you guys as a resource really helped me as well, to know that I had somebody to fall back on if I really needed it.
Oh, that's great. Do you think it's helped you and going to continue to help you achieve your goals too?
Absolutely. Again, I think it's super important to have, you know, connections around me to be able to, you know, have in case I need it. Because again, like, I just don't have the, like, the support, I guess, the support to, you know, continue to do certain things. But it helped. The more people, the better. And I'm super grateful for having you guys around. And I definitely think that other people would really they would be benefited by your guys' presence.
Yeah, I can, one of the things that our girlfriends talk about, and Lori and I have talked about, is that if you have family, you know, I can personally testify. If my granddaughter has a problem, who does she call? She starts calling her family member. Where the foster kids, I mean, you have resources, but it's not quite the same. You know, you don't have that whole network necessarily. The people don't. So that's wonderful to hear. But most importantly, how are you doing now? You look wonderful. You sound wonderful. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I honestly, I'm doing really, really well. I am currently employed full-time through the YMCA. So I am employed under a program called Connections 2020 as a support specialist. So I've been taking the lead on a program for my job that I've had a huge hand in. So professionally, I've been doing amazing because I have these resources. And, you know, academically, I will be graduating next semester with my bachelor's in women's studies. So I am definitely on my way.
That's great. That's great. What would you tell others who are in similar circumstances to your situation? What would you tell others? Any advice that you have for them?
So the two pieces of advice I feel like I would give is to definitely utilize the people that you have around you, and make sure that it's okay for you to ask for help. It's okay to reach out to others. And then the other piece of advice is simply to just keep moving forward. It's a very generic thing, but I definitely feel like it's important, no matter what, to just continue moving forward, and no matter, you know, what types of obstacles you might be facing, because it can only go up from here on out. So.
And what would you tell your younger self? Would you say anything differently to your younger self?
Well, I would probably say the same thing. And I would say, you know, just to be kind to myself. I know I've been definitely hard on myself growing up, just because I you know, want to make sure that I've always done well. But I think I'd go back and just say, just be kinder to yourself. I think that's very important.
That's great. Good. And then for anyone who's thinking about contributing to our scholarship program, what would you like to let them know about how the program might help change someone's life?
Every bit of your time helps, and every interaction and every, you know, if you have a chance to directly interact with the youth, you might make an impact that would last a lifetime. I mean, I know you guys have definitely been a huge, huge part of my life, and the way that you guys have helped me. And so if somebody's just wanting to contribute to this program, you might be able to impact somebody else in the exact same way, or even, you know, even more, even, you know, differently than how you guys have impacted me. And I just think it's super important to, you know, help individuals like myself, because we need people and we might not have additional support, and you might be able to be that support for somebody. And that, I mean, can change somebody's outlook and direction in life even.
And then is there anything else you'd like to share with us on the Girlfriends Care board or our Girlfriends Care members? Anything else you'd like to say?
I can't think of anything, but I basically just wanted to say that I am so appreciative of you guys and having, your presence within my life. And I'm really excited to see how you guys continue to help others. And I just wanted to say thank you again for everything that you guys do, because it means the world.
Oh, great. Well, we thank you and we're proud of you, and we'll continue to watch you as you move forward in life, and we're here to support you and be there for you in your network. And thank you for taking time to speak with us today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys again.
Absolutely. All right.
Erin.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Mm.